The Galactic Combat Academy's training hall stretched 3 kilometers in every direction, its floors made of adaptive polymer that could simulate any terrain known to the collective's 847-member species. Benny stood at the entrance, his human frame looking deceptively fragile among the assembled cadets, Krillian warriors with their chitinous armor, Vexthari with their bioelectric tentacles, and Horgoth berserkers whose muscles rippled with genetically enhanced fury. "Attention, cadets," boomed Instructor Thelnor, a 7-foot-tall Krillian whose reputation preceded him across 12 star systems. His compound eyes swept across the assembled students. "Today's exercise is simple. Survive the gauntlet. Reach the far end. You may use any weapons from the armory." The cadets surged toward the weapon racks, plasma rifles, molecular blades, gravity hammers, neural disruptors. Benny remained where he stood. Elsa walked past him without a glance, her dark hair tied back in a practical bun, her academy jumpsuit unmarked by any of the honor badges that decorated the other human cadets' uniforms. She was the quiet one, the one instructors never called on because she'd only arrived 2 weeks ago from Earth's outer colonies. "Cadet Elsa." Thelnor's voice crackled with what might have been concern in a Krillian. "You haven't selected a weapon. Don't need one, sir." The training hall fell silent. Even the Horgoth, who communicated primarily through aggressive posturing, paused to stare. "The gauntlet contains Class 4 combat drones," Thelnor said, his translator struggling to convey his incredulity. "They're programmed to neutralize threats using lethal force. Without a weapon, you'll be eliminated in the first 30 seconds. Elsa's expression didn't change. "Respectfully, sir, humans evolved as persistence hunters on a death world. We don't need weapons to survive. We are the weapon." Benny felt his pulse quicken. He'd heard rumors about the outer colony humans, the ones who'd grown up on worlds where the terraforming had failed, where Earth's carefully cultivated civilization was just a memory transmitted through static-filled data streams. "Very well," Thelnor clicked, his mandibles expressing something between amusement and anticipation. "Begin." The gauntlet activated. Combat drones materialized from concealed panels, sleek, deadly machines equipped with plasma cutters and kinetic rounds. The Krillian cadets formed shield walls. The Vexthari's tentacles crackled with bioelectric charges. The Horgoth roared their battle cries. Elsa ran. Not toward cover. Not toward weapons. She ran directly at the nearest drone cluster with a velocity that made Benny's combat computer flag her movements as tactically suicidal. The first drone locked onto her, its targeting laser painting her chest. It fired. She wasn't there. Her body had already shifted, her trajectory impossible to predict because it wasn't following any trained combat pattern. She moved like water, like wind, like something that had learned to survive not by overpowering threats, but by being impossible to pin down. Her hand lashed out, no weapon, just flesh and bone, and struck the drone's sensor array. The impact point was precise, the junction where the drone's armored casing met its optical cluster, a weak point that required millimeter-perfect accuracy. The drone sparked and fell. "Targeting algorithms can't compensate," Benny whispered to himself, his human brain understanding what the alien cadets couldn't. "She's using pure chaos theory. No pattern, no rhythm, just reaction speed and spatial awareness." 2 more drones converged on Elsa. She grabbed the fallen drone's 60 kilograms of military-grade hardware and hurled it with a force that should have been impossible for her frame. The throw wasn't powered by enhanced muscles or genetic modification. It was biomechanics perfected over millions of years. Legs, hips, core, shoulders, arms working in a kinetic chain that could generate explosive force, far exceeding the sum of its parts. 1 drone took the projectile and shattered. The second tried to recalculate, but Elsa was already inside its targeting radius, too close for its weapons to track. Her elbow, the hardest point on the human body, drove into its power core with surgical precision. The alien cadets were struggling now. Their weapons, formidable as they were, required aim time, reload cycles, power management. The drones adapted to their patterns within seconds. But Elsa? She was adapting faster. She vaulted over a Krillian's shield wall, used a Vexthari's tentacle as a springboard, grabbed a malfunctioning drone, and reprogrammed it mid-combat using the Universal Emergency Override code. All Academy equipment carried a code she'd apparently memorized. "How is she a Horgoth cadet?" began, before a drone's stun blast dropped him. Benny knew. Earth's gravity was 1.2 times standard. Earth's atmosphere had evolved predators that hunted by sight, sound, smell, heat signature, and electromagnetic sensing. Earth's evolution had created a species that could run prey to exhaustion, that could throw projectiles with lethal accuracy, that could recognize patterns and break them, that could learn any skill given enough time and pressure. Humans didn't evolve with natural armor or venom or bioelectric organs. They evolved with endurance, adaptability, and the most dangerous weapon in the known universe. A brain that never stopped calculating, never stopped learning, never stopped finding new ways to survive. Elsa reached the far end of the gauntlet in 4 minutes and 17 seconds. She wasn't even breathing hard. Thelnor's translator was silent for a long moment. When he finally spoke, his voice carried a respect that Benny had never heard directed at a human before. "Cadet Elsa, explain your tactics." She turned, and for the first time, Benny saw her smile. It was the smile of a predator that had just reminded everyone what apex species meant. "We're from Earth, sir. Every other species in the collective evolved on worlds where the environment was stable enough to allow specialization. We evolved where everything was trying to kill us, where the climate changed faster than genetics could adapt, where survival meant learning to use everything, our environment, our bodies, our minds, as weapons." She gestured at the disabled drones scattered across the training hall. "You asked why humans don't need weapons, sir. It's because we never stopped being them." Benny watched as the other cadets, warriors from species that had conquered stars, looked at the small human woman with something he'd never seen directed at his kind before: fear and respect. Instructor Thelnor's compound eyes fixed on Benny. "Cadet Benny, your turn." Benny looked at the weapon racks, then at Elsa, then at his own hands. He'd grown up on Earth proper, in cities where evolution was a textbook concept, where humanity's predator past was just history, but it was still in his DNA. He smiled and walked past the weapons. "Don't need them, sir."